The 10 biggest sandwich chains in America, from worst to best. Not by guessing, by the data. Customer satisfaction scores, store closure numbers, sales per location, and what people actually say when nobody's watching. The bottom of this list is going to look familiar. The top is going to surprise you. This is Food Files. We're starting at 10. At number 10, Quiznos. 20 years ago, this was the cool sub chain. Toasted bread, better meat than Subway, a jingle so weird it became a meme. In the mid-2000s, Quiznos peaked at around 4,700 locations across the United States. Today, they have 148. That's a 94% collapse. The chain filed for bankruptcy in 2014, carrying $875 million in debt. They never recovered. Here's the part most coverage skips. The reason Quiznos collapsed wasn't bad sandwiches. It was the franchise model. Corporate forced franchisees to buy all their ingredients: meat, bread, cheese, sauces, from Quiznos-owned suppliers, at prices franchisees said were dramatically above market rate. The franchise owners couldn't make a profit, so they closed, by the thousands. What's left, by most reviewer accounts, is a shadow of the chain. The meat is now widely described as rubbery. The bread-to-meat ratio is inconsistent. The one thing reviewers still say they make well, the cheesesteak, is the same reason Quiznos isn't quite at the bottom of this list. On every factor that matters, quality, satisfaction, value, and trajectory, Quiznos rates poorly. It's not the worst sandwich you can buy in America. It's the worst sandwich chain in America. That's a different thing. Number 9. Subway. In 2024, Subway received its lowest American Customer Satisfaction Index score in a decade, 74 out of 100. That's below the industry average, below Panera, below Arby's. In the same year, Subway closed 631 U.S. locations. In May 2025, the chain dropped below 20,000 domestic restaurants for the first time in 20 years. They peaked at around 27,000 stores in 2015. The decline isn't a mystery. It's the long aftermath of a brand that spent 2 decades cutting costs. The bread that went viral for containing azodicarbonamide, a dough conditioner also used in yoga mats. The 2021 tuna controversy, where independent lab testing reportedly couldn't identify tuna DNA in the sandwich. The franchisee lawsuits over corporate-mandated discounting that pushed stores into unprofitability. The average unit volume, that's how much each store sells per year, sits at about $490,000. Most of the chains on this list do double that or more. Subway's stores are pulling less money than nearly every competitor we'll cover today. There's a version of this story where Subway is the worst chain in America. The reason it's at 9 instead of 10 is scale. With 19,000 stores, Subway is still the largest sandwich chain on earth. You can still get a custom sub built in front of you for under $10. That counts for something, just not very much. Number 8. Wich. Founded in Dallas in 2003, this is the build-your-own chain. You mark up a paper bag with a Sharpie to specify exactly what you want, and they make it. It's a clever system. 300 locations nationally. Solid menu. Here's the problem. Wich does nothing better than anyone else on this list. The bread is fine. The meat is fine. The customization is fine. In a category where every other chain has a signature, Jersey Mike's has Mike's Way. Firehouse has portion size. Capriotti's has the Bobby. Wich's signature is a paper bag with a Sharpie. Reviewers describe the food as competent and forgettable. That's not damning. It's just not a reason to drive past Jersey Mike's to get there. At number 8, Wich is the chain you go to when there isn't a better option in the strip mall, which is most strip malls, which is part of how they have 300 stores. Jimmy John's at number 7, the fast delivery sub chain. Over 2,500 locations. Average store sales near $1 million a year. Almost double Subway. The good news? Jimmy John's actually delivers on what it promises. Subs arrive fast. The bread is baked in-house daily. The meat is sliced fresh. Quality is consistent across stores, in a way Subway's quality is not. By most measurable factors, Jimmy John's is a better sub chain than Subway. Arby's at number 6. And before anyone in the comments says Arby's isn't a sandwich chain, let's be clear. Roast beef on a bun is a sandwich. The Reuben on the menu is a sandwich. The chicken bacon Swiss is a sandwich. Arby's has been a sandwich chain since 1964. The fact that they also sell curly fries doesn't change the category. Here's what people miss about Arby's: the beef and cheddar, the classic roast beef, the Reuben. These are not premium sandwiches. They're not pretending to be. But on the American Customer Satisfaction Index, Arby's has consistently scored above Subway, above Panera, and competitive with the higher-end sub-chains. The "We Have the Meats" campaign wasn't just marketing. It was an accurate description of a chain that pivoted toward better meat quality while its competitors cut costs. The 2022 takeover by Inspire Brands, the same parent company that owns Buffalo Wild Wings and Jimmy John's, has stabilized the business. Roughly 3,400 locations across the United States. Reliable, cheaper than the premium sub-chains, better meat quality than the bottom-tier ones. Arby's is the chain people roll their eyes at, then quietly admit they enjoy. There are worse positions to be in. Number 5. Potbelly Sandwich Shop. Started in 1977 as an antique store in Chicago that happened to serve sandwiches. The antiques are gone. The sandwich identity has stayed. Roughly 400 locations across the country. The thing that puts Potbelly above the chains we've covered so far is the toasted sandwich execution. Their bread goes through an oven on every order. Their giardiniera peppers, a Chicago staple, bring heat most sandwich chains don't bother with. Their hand-sliced meats and freshly baked bread aren't marketing copy. Reviewers consistently confirm the practices. The Reddit consensus on Potbelly is striking. People defend this chain with surprising intensity. Quote, "The answer is Potbelly's. I'll fist fight anyone who disagrees." Quote, "I also really like Charlie's cheesesteaks, even though they're objectively not as good quality as Potbelly's." These are the kind of comments that don't show up under Subway threads. Potbelly isn't perfect. Some locations run cold. Pricing has crept up in recent years. But on the strength of execution and a genuinely loyal customer base, Potbelly is the highest quality chain you'll find in most American downtowns. At 5. Firehouse Subs at number 4. Founded in 1994 in Jacksonville, Florida by two brothers who actually were firefighters. Today, owned by Restaurant Brands International, same parent as Burger King and Tim Hortons. Two things separate Firehouse from the chains below it. First, portion size. Firehouse Subs are notoriously hearty. The bread is hollowed out to make room for more meat. The result is one of the more filling fast food sandwiches in America. Second, the chain runs a charitable foundation, the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation, that has donated over $85 million to first responders. The growth is real. In 2025, Firehouse opened 104 net new restaurants, its strongest expansion year in more than a decade. Average unit volume sits at about $1 million. That's twice Subway. Comparable to Jimmy John's, approaching Jersey Mike's. The criticism. Some reviewers find Firehouse heavy on bread, light on flavor balance. The giant portions cover for a lack of finesse. The brisket sub gets the most praise. The cold-cut subs get the most complaints. Firehouse at 4. Hearty, growing. The charity story doesn't hurt. Number 3. Wawa. Yes, Wawa. Yes, we know it's technically a convenience store. Here's why Wawa makes this list. The chain operates over 1,100 locations across the Mid-Atlantic and Florida. Their hoagies, that's what they call subs in Philadelphia, are made to order, on bread baked in store, with meat and cheese sliced fresh. They sell more hoagies per day than several of the chains we've already covered sell sandwiches. The customer loyalty is at religious cult levels. Wawa Day, the chain's anniversary in April, is celebrated like a regional holiday in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. The Sheetz versus Wawa debate is one of the longest-running food rivalries on the East Coast. When Wawa opened its first store in Nashville in 2024, lines formed for hours. People drove from out of state. The hoagie quality is genuinely excellent for a quick-service product. The Italian, the turkey shorty, the meatball. These are sandwiches that compete with dedicated sub-chains, not just other gas stations. The customization is broad. The pricing is significantly lower than Jersey Mike's or Capriotti's for a comparable product. The reason Wawa isn't higher is geography. If you live outside the Mid-Atlantic or Florida, Wawa might as well not exist. A national ranking has to account for whether the chain is actually accessible. But for the audience that can get to one, and that audience is large and loud, Wawa is one of the great American sandwich operations hiding inside a fuel pump. Capriotti's at number 2. If you've never heard of this chain, you're not alone. It's the smallest entry on this list, about 175 locations across 33 states. It's also, by most quality measures, the best executed sub-chain in America. Founded in 1976 in Wilmington, Delaware, the Capriotti family had a simple operating principle. Every night, after the store closes, the team roasts whole turkeys, actual whole birds, for 12 hours. Those turkeys are then pulled by hand the next morning to fill the sandwiches. That's not marketing language. That's what the chain actually does. Hand-pulled turkey, house-made meatballs, house-made coleslaw. 25% more meat on their steak sandwiches than the industry standard. The signature sandwich is the Bobby. Pulled turkey, cranberry sauce, stuffing, and mayonnaise on a sub-roll. In 2009, AOL voted it the greatest sandwich in America. It's Thanksgiving dinner year-round in a bread roll. It's the rare chain sandwich that justifies the price. A chef from Eat This, Not That described the classic cheesesteak this way, quote, "Simple, comforting, and packed with flavor." That's understated for what's actually one of the best chain cheesesteaks outside Philadelphia. The reason Capriotti's isn't at 1 is scale. With 175 stores, you have to live in the right city to get one. The chain projects 750 stores by 2032. If they hit that, this conversation will be different in 5 years. For now, the second best sandwich chain in America is the one most Americans have never tried. The best sandwich chain in America is Jersey Mike's. Founded in 1956 as Mike's Subs in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. In 1975, a 17-year-old high school student named Peter Cancro borrowed money from his coach to buy the shop. He renamed it Jersey Mike's. 50 years later, that decision is one of the better business stories in American food. The chain ended 2025 with 3,256 stores, second largest sub-chain in the United States, behind only Subway. The growth has accelerated, not slowed. 322 new locations opened in 2024, Jersey Mike's biggest single-year expansion ever. In November 2024, the investment firm Blackstone bought the chain for a reported $8 billion. Here's the part that matters. Jersey Mike's average unit volume, the sales per store, is $1,360,000. Subway's is $490,000. That means a single Jersey Mike's, on average, outsells a single Subway by nearly 3 to 1. The product is the reason. The meat is sliced on the spot for each order on a deli slicer behind the counter. The bread is baked in-store throughout the day. The Mike's Way preparation, onions, lettuce, tomato, vinegar, oil, oregano, and salt, is the chain's signature. And it's an actual technique, not a marketing line. The Italian, the Philly cheesesteak, the Big Kahuna. These are not perfect sandwiches, but they are consistently good across thousands of stores, which is harder than making one great sandwich in one location. On every factor that defines a great chain, Jersey Mike's leads or ties. Quality, top tier. Customer satisfaction, top tier. Value, best in the category by average unit volume. Trajectory, the fastest growing premium sub-chain in America, with Blackstone Capital and an active international expansion into the UK and Ireland. There's a version of this list where Capriotti's takes the top spot on pure quality. The Bobby is, in isolation, better than anything on Jersey Mike's menu. But you can find a Jersey Mike's in 48 states. You can find a Capriotti's in 33. At 3,000 stores versus 175, Jersey Mike's wins the only way a national ranking can be won, by being excellent and accessible at the same time. The best sandwich chain in America is Jersey Mike's. Here's what the ranking shows that you don't see when you look at any single chain in isolation. The chains at the bottom of this list, Quiznos and Subway, both followed the same playbook. Cut quality, squeeze franchisees, cheapen ingredients, chase volume. Quiznos forced franchise owners to buy from corporate suppliers until thousands of stores went bankrupt. Subway spent 2 decades cost-cutting its way to the lowest customer satisfaction score in the industry. Both of them are still on this list. Neither of them is winning. The chains at the top, Jersey Mike's, Capriotti's, Wawa, Firehouse, Potbelly, did the opposite. They invested in product, fresh sliced meat, house-baked bread, hand-pulled turkey, larger portions. The result is what every business school case study confirms, but most chains ignore. When you build the better product, the customers come, and they stay. Subway has 19,000 stores and is closing them by the 100. Jersey Mike's has 3,000 and is opening them by the 100. The market figured this out a long time ago. If you've made it this far, you already know which sandwich chain to walk past and which one to walk into. The data agrees with you. Welcome to Food Files. Subscribe, hit the bell, and tell us in the comments which chain we got wrong. Next week, the frozen pizza brands that don't deserve your freezer space. Until then, stay hungry.